today we are going to be working on the sewing projects. Okay, right, so I'm first going to work on this shirt here. This was one of the shirts I told you guys that I needed to fix the sleeve on because the sleeve is really too big. This is a good fit around the bust area, but when I put my arm down, the sleeve comes well below this part of my wrist or my hand, so it's too big, and I'm going to move the button over some. That way it can be tightened around my wrist, somewhat like that perhaps. That way it's not coming down. That is my plan for this. And then I trying to think about what I want to do with this sweater. This sweater is the crop sweater that I showed you all or told you guys about. That it's really cute, but again, the sleeves on it are way too long, so I'm gonna have to probably cut this off or fold it up. I'm not certain just yet how I want to fix that. I actually love this part of it, the rib look here that then goes into the cable. I don't know what I should do to keep that, but I may have to just take that part off. I don't know. We'll work through that together. And then I need to work on this skirt for my daughter as well as a basic tank top for her. So I'm going to do that. And then I think in a little while, I have to probably stop the footage and make a run. And one of those stops will have to be Hobby Lobby because I'm going to be working on my Bible cover. And I'm thinking about doing a matching pencil case and the matching bookmark. So that's like a little set. So that's what I'm going to be working on today. So let's see. Well, that's my plan for the day. Let's see how much of it I can actually get done. All right, so based off how it was fitting, I think I'm gonna probably have to go up at least 1.5 inches. And I'm gonna try it on to see if I can gauge if that's a good space or wide enough. All right, so it looks like I want to do about 1.5 inches, and this pen is not showing up good. I see it, but I can't see it. There we go. Just trying to come in a little better. I think if I do 1.5 inches, that might be just enough, and it won't be too tight. So let me try the sleeve on real quick. All right, so I tried it on, and it seems to be a perfect sweet spot. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other button in the same space, about 1.5 inches down. And what I think I'm going to do is put a pin in here just in case I lose the placement. All right, so that's where I want the new button to land. 1.5 inches, and it's actually not even lined up properly. Let me do that. There we go. All right, so I think that's, nope, still not lined up that well. Oh, maybe it is. I think it's just the material. No, it's not. Let's go up a little bit more. I think that's more aligned. No, it doesn't look like it. Why is this not lining up properly? Maybe like right here. Okay, that looks a little better. So the new button will be about right there. Now I need to go back to the other side and do a similar placement of my pen. So that I know that's where I want my new button to go. I think because the pen is crooked, it's making me feel like the placement is crooked, but there we go. All right, so now I need to take these buttons off, and I need to sew on with this green thread. I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right, so now I'm gonna move right into the fit of the sweater. As you can see, the sleeves on it are extremely long. You can't even see my fingertips, barely. But I do like how that drop sleeve really comes like all the way down to my elbow almost, or a little above my elbow rather. But it's a really, really cute sweater. But I'm gonna try to do a whole lot of trial and error with this sleeve to see exactly where I need to roll and do some alterations. I went through a series of just trying different placements for where I want this sleeve to stop, and it seems like every time I thought I had the proper length, it was still too long. So I'm just gonna take my time and try to figure out the best spot for this sweater, this sleeve to stop. And now I think I finally found it. So what I discovered is that I am going to have to take off a good chunk of this sleeve here, and probably about 3 3/8 off, but that's going to leave a whole lot of excess in that hem, in that yeah, in the hem here. So I don't think I want to do that. So I'm trying to figure out, what do I do? Again, I still really love this rib knit here. So I am going to run out and do a quick errand, well, a couple of errands, and then come back and figure out, give me some time to think about what I want to do to this sweater. I don't want to mess it up because I really think it's cute. I love it. It's such a cute little crop top sweater. I don't want to mess it up, but the sleeves are way too long, and there's nothing I can do with the sweater unless I can get that sleeve fixed. So I'm trying to decide, yeah, if I just want to just fold it up and just sew, remove the excess here, or do I want to remove the ribbed part of the sweater and then reattach it to keep that ribbed look on the end, because that also matches the collar of the sweater. So I don't know. I'm going to think about it some as I head out, and when I return, I will come back to this and see what direction I want to go. All right, y'all, so I'm back, and I'm still a little undecided about what I want to do with the sleeve of this sweater. Part of me feels like I just want to cut the rib part off and maybe not attach it, because I think if I try to attach it, it's not going to lay flat. It's probably going to be bulky around the seam where the two pieces of fabric are joined, and I don't want that bulky look. So I think I'm going to cut it off and then just do a really small hem, really small hem on the bottom of the sweater, of the sleeve. I'm gonna see what that does. All right, so that's going to be my solution. All right, so I got my rotary cutter, and I'm going to literally just cut right along the line here to get this part off. I'm not going to stretch it, just want to get right along that line. Okay, so first sleeve is done. And then I'm going to take the other sleeve. I can take this pin out because I will have a different hem, I think, at this point. All right, so the ripped portion is now removed, and this is about, that is about 2¼ inch. Now what I think I'm going to do, I'm probably going to try it on again, honestly, just to see if maybe that changes a little bit in terms of the hem. So I'm out of frame a little bit, but now I think what I'll do is maybe pin this, kind of eyeball it, pin it, and then just do a quick sew. So let me do that. I'm going to pin it around, and I'm going to try it on. So I need to take more off, so I'm going to fold it down a little bit more. I don't even know how many inches this is at this point, but I need to bring it down some more. I need to bring the hem in a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like after that's done. Okay, so I finally got it at a point that I'm comfortable with. Let me show you all. So I like it just like that. I think that's good right there. So it is supposed to be oversized. So I don't make it too short because then it definitely wouldn't look right. But it is supposed to be oversized with the big, wide sleeve. but I think I like where it's dropping. It's like dropping right above like that little point of my thumb. All right, so I do like how that is laying on my arms now. I think the hem looks really good. I had to take about another 1.25 inches off. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my machine threaded. I don't have anything to practice with. I mean, I probably could practice with this rib right here, but I feel like I could keep this for something else. So I don't know if I have anything I can practice before I start sewing, but I'm gonna go ahead and get it going and pray that it works out well. So I'm looking at my cheat sheet for my fabric types and needle types, and I'm honestly not even sure what type of needle to use for this because it is a knit. It's not heavy. I guess it'd be a medium knit, but I don't see like medium knit on my chart, so I think I should just go with the medium. Maybe more like the flannel velveteen velour, and that says ballpoint 1175 or 1490. I think I have some 1175, so I'm gonna go ahead and try the 1175. I think that might be the closest to what I have right now in terms of my fabric. All right, so I was sitting here going through my needle stash, and I almost did not think I had the 1175 needle. I have an 1175 quilting needle, but I didn't want to try that in my machine. And I kept looking and I kept looking, and I had one little pack of 1175s here. So I'm going to be using that sparingly until I'm able to get more. But I got my machine threaded. I'll show you guys that. Machine is threaded. I need to adjust my settings a little bit over here, and I'll do that in a minute. But yeah, so we are just about ready to get this show on the road. All right, so things have been moving along pretty well tonight. It's just 8:45, and I've had the girls in and out of here talking and laughing and just goofing off. I don't feel really tired. I feel like I can probably keep going a little bit longer tonight. So I am probably going to start working on that skirt and that tank top for my little one. I'm too ashamed to even show you guys what fabric I'm using or what garment I'm using. You may remember I showed you guys back in maybe October, could have been September, black and white dress I purchased that's now too big for me, and I didn't want to just give it away because it's a nice bit of fabric on it. So I was just gonna use that just to make her a lounge. This is it right here, kind of like upcycle and make her a little lounge set, like a skirt and like a little tank top. So I am going to do that. I was gonna work to do that, rather. I was gonna use the Sew Anastasia tank top pattern that I had. I was thinking about cutting the smallest size on here, which would be an extra small, but it's for adults, and I think that that will still be rather big for her. She's a tiny thing. So instead, I am going to try my hand at I can't think of the right word right now, but what do you call it when you clone, like you're gonna clone a tank top? You know, I'm gonna clone this tank top and try to create one for her. I'm pretty clear on how to do the back of it. I think that'll be really simple. But what I'm not so clear on is how would I clone the front. So I'll have to figure that out. But I'm going to use this to clone. And I took her measurements a while ago, like a month or two ago, for her skirt. And I'm going to use those measurements to do a quick pattern draft for a skirt for her. And then hopefully that comes together pretty quickly. I might not get it completed tonight, but I'm glad I'm at least going to go ahead and get it started and see how far I can get in this evening. So I'm going to go ahead and get that going. All right, so let me tell you all what I end up doing. I took the tank top I wanted to clone, and I just placed it inside out, and the garment I want to use for the upcycle also inside out. So wrong sides facing. And then I just put the tank top on top of the tank top because I wasn't going to try to reinvent this up here if it's already like serged and sewn and the neckline's there. Now the neckline may still be too big, but I'm gonna see if I can size it on her a little bit and see what it looks like. But I pretty much just added like a 1-inch seam allowance on the side, which I know is probably still a little too much room, but it gives me enough space to do a decent size hem, and also just give me some room to play with in case it, you know, I didn't want to cut it exactly to size because I want to make sure I had room for seam allowance and room for modifications or alterations if I needed to do that. So this ended up not even really being as difficult as I was thinking it was going to be. I don't think I cloned it the right way, but I just, you know, use my imagination, use my mind, and just figured it out. Just figured out a way to clone. So we'll see what this looks like. And I also wanted to keep there's the word, it's like the word happiness on here. I thought that was really cute, so I did want to keep that on here as well. So it is a little wide, so I don't know how much of the S will fit on the tank top itself. You know, if I didn't want to keep that, then I would have just used the other piece I had, but I wanted to keep that. So I am going to have her just try it on to see, you know, before I start to hem up the sides and the bottom to see if I like the fit on her. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so I let her try it on and it looks like it's going to fit her okay. As I told you all, the word happiness, because this was for a woman, it does wrap a little bit around her body, but you know, it's okay. She's just gonna wear it around the house. You know, it's not really gonna be an outfit that she'll wear out. Unless she like sneaks and wears it out. But anyway, so all I need to do right now is hem the side seams, do the arm's eye, do the hem around the arm's eye, and do the hem on the bottom. And then I can sew it up and then it will be finished. Surprisingly, the shoulders of this, the neckline in the back, it looked like it fit her pretty good. Now, she did put it on over top of her nightgown. I would have preferred that she just tried it on as if she was going to wear it, but she didn't want to do all that. So that's fine. And it is a little late. I'm not going to bother too much. But yeah, so all I need to do is get my pinning done, rethread my machine, put the black thread in, get this sewn up, and then the top will be done. Not sure about the skirt, but we'll come back to that. Okay, so it's a little after 10. Yeah, like 10:10 or so. And I think the tank top will be the last project for the night. I don't know if it's normal to take this long to get like simple modifications, alterations done, but it did take me a pretty minute. And I think a lot of it too was because I hadn't been in my room for a little bit, but I do think that the projects I worked on tonight were really great projects to kind of get me back into my room to sew more projects. Let me get my drink here. Okay. All right, so let me tell you guys about getting this done. Whew. So this is not anything that I would let her wear out in public, because although the cloning of it was pretty straightforward, I realized something pretty silly of me. So first of all, as I was sewing, I probably should have used a white thread because the back of here is white and all of my threads are black. I use black. I thought black looked better, but didn't realize or hadn't seen that they had used white. Second of all, it wasn't until, so I did the sweater, I did the green shirt, I did the sweater, and then I did this top. All of these items were knit except for the green top, and I did not realize until I started working on the second arm's eye that I was not using a zigzag stitch. I was using a straight stitch. And I had not adjusted my tension on my machine from when I sewed when I did the alteration for the sleeve on my sweater. So the stitches on here look crazy. They look crazy. They look great here, right? That is when I realized that I was not using that's when I realized I was not using zigzag and switched over to a zigzag stitch. But the other stitches, and where the tension wasn't adjusted properly, the stitches look like this. A hot mess. Not cool. So, yeah, I haven't been in my room in a minute, and these are the little silly mistakes that I made. And then I realized at the bottom, I know I hear a lot of folks talk about trying to be skilled at matching your stripes. I can't think of the name of it right now, but you're trying to match your lines on your patterns. And when I kept hearing about that, I didn't think it was such a big deal, but I realized how big of a deal it is because it makes such a difference when you are sewing. So I say that to say, because I didn't do a great job at matching the stripes, look at that here. And the fabric kept slipping under my presser foot. So it looks like I have a whole line of skip stitches where I really don't. What I actually have is where my fabric started to slip under my presser foot and I lost the allowance and started to sew in the black. And then it picked up again in the white. So that's a major, major hiccup. And that's ugly. So I don't know if this was just a result of, like I said, just not matching up my stripes well enough, or if it's a needle issue. So I did not change out my needle. I did the 1175, and I probably should have gone to a different needle. Yeah. So again, I mean, she says she likes it and she would love to wear it out, but it's not something that I'm really 100% proud of in terms of a clone. I think I did a great job just in terms of, you know, fitting it and cloning it with the purple tank top. But when it came down to sewing it up, yeah, it just didn't sew the way I would have wanted it to. So, but I am still going to, sorry, my tripod fell. I am still going to use the remaining fabric and sew her a skirt, which should be a little bit easier because, you know, it's literally straight lines. I'm not doing anything major. This is already done. This is already done here. And actually, interesting enough, they used looks like they may have serged this. I'm not sure. But then they did a twin needle for here. So I'm not going to do a twin needle. But even looking at this skirt, you can kind of see where they had some issues too with trying to keep that fabric straight, and see how those stitches go from the white to the black and then up into the white and then up into the black. So I don't know. I don't know if it's if it's the fabric or if it's just you know, not so good sewing technique. But and they did their best to match the stripes on here, but it's a little off. But again, you know, yep, that's what it is. So she's gone to bed now. I'm tired, so it's just the perfect time to tap out for the night, go and get myself cleaned up and hop in bed. But tomorrow is supposed to be my sewing class at the So Creative Lounge. They are calling for inclement weather in my area, so I'm hoping that the weather isn't so bad that I can't get out and drive. I don't really like to drive in inclement weather. Definitely not, snow or ice. Rain, I can handle that a little bit. I'm not too fond of it, but if I have to drive in the rain, I will. But I try to stay clear of any kind of driving when it's, ice or snow or any kind of precip like that. So we shall see what the weather report says in the morning. Hopefully I can get to the class and they will allow me to do a little bit of vlogging. Honestly, like when I go to the class, I'm probably going to be trying to do a lot of just learning and just listening. And I may get a little sidetracked with some of the vlogging. So we'll see what I can do and bring you guys some content from that class tomorrow. But I am happy that I got my room tonight, getting some sewing done. I think I chose some great projects to kind of get my feet wet again. Had a couple of hiccups on the top here, but not so bad because it's something she can wear in the house, and just a great quick upcycle project. So thank you all for joining me today and tonight in this video, and I do hope that you all are well, that you are getting some rest, and that your new year has started off great. Until we come together again, take care and God bless.